so often be fobbed off with things like, oh well, there's always people with worse problems. Yeah, there are, but you know what? Fuck.
Put your feelings aside, give that wild side a try. I'm not that girl.
You keep asking, so I'm gonna keep bringing it. Another dose of Candidly AF with Sharon H. You fire the questions and I'm gonna shoot it straight back at you from my own unapologetic candid perception. Let's get this whip cracking. Sure to keep watching all the way till the end for a sneak peek of my upcoming inspirational series. Today's questions are in line with when people ask if you are fine and you are not. How to answer how you are when you are not okay. Why do people ask how you are and keep talking? First up, we have a video topic question suggestion. Love your videos, Sharon. I was hoping you could possibly do a video on the subject of when people ask if you're fine when you're really not. I would love to hear your views on that, as it's a situation I find myself in pretty often. Thanks for your question, mate. Now, this is something we've all most likely done. We walk into a shop or we run into an acquaintance, and the first thing typically to come out of our mouths is, how are you today? And then we keep walking without waiting for a response. So who's done this? Hit the like button if you can resonate. But sometimes when we are on the receiving end of that question and someone is standing there waiting for a response, it can be the last thing we want to answer. Especially if they're all fucking shiny happy and we're having a bitch of a day. This question can come across many ways, but most often one of three. With genuine care or concern, interfering and invasive, or off the cuff with no fucks given for a response. But when we are hurting inside or just feeling down and can't explain it, this question can in fact feel like more salt being rubbed on our inner wound. We become torn whether we should just spill everything or close ourselves off. But fact of the matter, most people couldn't give a rat's ass about our problems or anybody else's. Some people are in fact glad our lives are going through shitstorms because A, gives them something to gossip about, or B, gives them something to gloat about. So this then bears the question, how do we know who to open up to or who to just say, all's good thanks, when dying a slow death from the inside out? Often people do not know how to handle our truths. They find them confronting, embarrassing even. So this then makes them shut off from us, leaving us feeling like a first-rate fuck knuckle for opening up in the first place. Give me a bean there in the comments if you agree. When people ask if you're okay and you are not, the most important thing to remember is it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be having a bastard of a day. It's okay to admit that you are in fact not fine. And it's okay to say, oh, you know, had better days, and change the subject. There is this absolutely fucked up stigma that we all have to pretend to have these perfect little lives and to all be shiny, happy, positive people all the time. Well, that's impossible and unrealistic. We are so often left feeling shamed if we open up about our problems. They will so often be fobbed off with things like, oh well, there's always people with worse problems. Yeah, there are, but you know what, fucker? We're entitled to feel what we feel while we wade through ours. Then there's those that'll laugh at our problems and tell us to toughen up. Better days ahead. This is dismissive and shit. They are not living our woes. Then we have the ever-present pissing competitors and one-uppers. And for every problem of ours they have endured and survived, much worse. These people are mind-numbing. Whilst granted, nobody likes a whiny prick. Somebody that always sees the glass as half empty, and for every day there is a new gripe, a new drama. Even the best of us switch off from them killjoys because no amount of positive affirmations or advice is gonna help them. Some genuinely thrive off of problems and woes. They want sympathy and will try to garner it wherever they can. Sadly though, this then makes those that are genuinely doing it tough, that are feeling tangled and torn inside, less likely to open up, less likely to seek help and support. I cannot clarify enough. It's okay to not be okay. The more we try to fight against it, the more we try to bury our pains, the bigger they grow. They somehow thrive beneath the layers we try to blanket them with. We can't find a trusted friend, a confidant or loved one to confide in without fear of judgment. It's so important to reach out to one of the many helplines available. Sometimes we find opening up awkward because the person asking us is not someone we actually want knowing our business. And their questioning can feel invasive and overwhelming. Sometimes when we aren't doing fine and someone asks if we're fine and we really are not, all we really want to do is go home and just be let be. Sometimes nothing can be more releasing than a bloody good cry. Everybody hurts, everybody has bad days, and we are just as bloody entitled to have ours and go through every motion of them. When it comes to our mental health, we always ultimately have to do what we need to do to stay healthy and strong. We need time out from the world, then that's what we should do. We need to talk, then we should try to find someone to talk to. When we are asked if we're fine and we really are not, knowing the person asking's intention can be helpful too. If it's someone that we know genuinely cares about us, then we should hopefully feel comfortable enough to unleash our burdens, fears, or woes and know it's a safe place. There is nothing worse or more disgusting than sharing with someone you feel you are safe with, only to be left feeling humiliated or stupid. Or worse still, they have no morals and run repeating our business. These people are an abhorrent disgrace who do more harm than good in this world. It's often wise, if we are unsure or get vibes this person may be untrustworthy, that we tell them fuck all and take them nowhere. When others seem pushy or invasive, when we said we are fine even when we are not, it's okay to not divulge how we feel. It's okay to give no more than a cursory response and shut it down as quick as possible. We never owe anyone explanation for our feelings or the private goings on in our lives. We do not want to discuss our emotions, and it's no one's place to insist we do. Before discussing our emotions with anyone, we should ultimately try to weigh up whether releasing our feelings into the open will make us feel lighter or heavier. If we know we can walk away from the conversation in a better state of mind than when we entered, we really have nothing to lose. But if we are going to walk away feeling shame or regret, then this is not for the better good of us. Sometimes talking about our problems can help heal our wounds, but other times it can be as good as tearing them right open. Sometimes we really like people, but we don't want them being privy to our business or emotions. So this is when what we divulge must be at our own discretion. I'm a bit of an open book when it comes to my own life. I can keep your secrets, but have very few of my own. But I won't lie, I've definitely confided in some fucksticks over the years that have then tried to use my upsets or weaknesses against me. There's very few people I now confide in if anything's troubling me. When we've been bitten by life's vultures, it does make opening up much harder. It's learning to be selective whom we let in our circle and whom we boot the hell out. The problem is when people ask if we're okay. Let's be real here. They don't really want to know the answer. Most, if we're honest, ask the bloody question and keep talking about themselves anyway. People only hear what they want to hear. Most of us are pretty self-focused. We don't mean to be, it's just human nature. We all have our own woes and shitstorms to swim through. And we really don't have the time, patience, or inclination to take on the ebbs and flows of someone else's shitstorms. We ask how others are, and of course on some level we do genuinely care, but unless they are close in our fold, we really only want to know the ins and outs from a surface level. Of course some people are sticky beak bastards who want to know every man and their dog's business so they can repeat it to anyone who'll listen. But for the most, we just want friendly passing salutations and to walk away feeling good and get on with our day. We all have our close people, but not everyone can be a priority. I guess the most important thing here is your comfort level. Do you want to talk, and do you want to talk to the person asking if you're fine? Just never be ashamed of your emotions and never be ashamed of some days not being okay. Sometimes the only way to be okay is to open up to others we are not okay. Our mental health must come first. Always. And now we have an Instagram question. Why do some people ask how you are and keep talking? Putting it bluntly, because they don't give a fuck what the answer is. Some people are genuinely so self-consumed to a fault. They think the whole world lives to hear about subject them. These are the same people that will even make your social media posts about them. You can write something really meaningful about yourself and they will cut in, ignore everything about you and talk about themselves. These people are often overly dramatic and have narcissistic qualities. They have no interest beyond themselves. It's also possible that some people might ask how you are by way of acknowledgement, but actually be busy with something else at the moment or mid-conversation with someone else. So they'll ask how you are, but keep doing what they're doing or keep talking to the person they're talking to without trying to be rude to anyone. I think we've all done this sometimes. But when you have someone that does this without fail every single time you see them and you can't get a word in edgewise, then yes, this can be frustrating and annoying as hell. These are not really the people you want to tell your business to anyway. They'd either make you feel worse by lack of empathy or consideration, or they'd potentially store bits they could use against you later. Sometimes people keep talking because they don't really want to get involved. They just wanted to seem polite. They really don't want the awkwardness, especially if they've heard you're going through something, you're ill, or grieving. These are the people that often back away if others try sharing with them, or they begin practicing avoidance if the conversations get too deep. Some people just find deep and meaningful conversations uncomfortable. They themselves are very private people and they really struggle with people being open about things. I think our gut will always tell us when someone's not meaning to dismiss us, when someone's self-absorbed or feeling discomfort. All we can really do is follow our instincts and try to confide in those we get good vibes from. Those that make us feel comfortable and listen without prejudice or judgment. But most importantly, we must all try to talk to someone, anyone we feel safe with when life becomes too overwhelming, feels too much. We have to know that there is no shame in reaching out for help and know that it's absolutely okay to not be okay. And I genuinely hope every single one of you watching today are okay. We will all have bad days and these should come with no shame at all. When it comes to anything in life, our mental health takes precedence overall. Why are you still here?
That just took away a lot of confidence.
Even when life shows up and shit happens.
Because I was in denial.
Rather than seeing that as a big red flag,
I felt absolutely worthless.
I think you
How
were
could this
spared to
happen to
make a
me?
difference.
London in these locations.
and I do not remember
It
anything
just
else.
didn't
She
matter
had
anymore.
more tears than anyone
Running
could
after
ever
us.
cry in their lifetime.
You
I
were
let
brave.
The
everyone down.
Baltic and Norway, the Mediterranean.
I love it.
It honestly
Shut
didn't
out
matter to me
the
if I woke
world.
up to see
Gave
another
you
day.
back
I
your
had
purpose.
And I was young and I wanted to, you know,
So I
like I
remember
wanted to go to
looking
the
in the mirror and
Caribbean.
thinking,
I
who is
was
this
taught
person?
to
That is
always
such
look
a
people in the
powerful
eye.
message.
Everyone
was
pretty much
so
laughed at me.
scared.
A knife, my butcher knife
Mind-blowing.
from my own.
It
When
definitely
you lose
makes
faith
us
in
stronger.
yourself, it's
And
really hard to have
inspiration.
faith in
Didn't
anything
make
else.
us
You
any-
don't think it
You
can
would
happen
come
to you,
full
That was
circle.
an image
The
that I will
shame I
never get out of my
felt.
head.
Thanks for watching. See ya.
Break out of your shell.